they're doing this incredible.
Well, there's a myriad of things. I think, first of all, we have to go back to writer. You are very well known for teaching skills. Your students speak a whole lot about you.
Miss Nigeria competition.
I said, let's pick them up, let's take them back to Nigeria, and let's teach them a different kind of job.
Hello, it's always a pleasure to be on the set because each day I sit here, it means another wonderful lady, another wonderful woman, another wonderful creation of God will be excitingly chatting with us. Now, the beauty of a woman, to say it goes beyond just what you see. A woman is someone who you see, you feel, you get to touch even with your eyes closed, because there is a certain personality God has given us that makes us real special. My train is moving right into Benin, Edo State, where I have a wonderful woman, a lady of substance, a woman that is known for her philanthropy, an award winner of multiple times. I don't know how to call it, but I know that my guest today is she's called by a special name, but let me start by introducing her as Pastor Dr. Mrs. Magret Eghosa Abonifo. And she is at the moment, she's a first. But let me get to tell you what all of that first is all about, but that will be after this time out. Don't go away. It's the woman, and if you're just joining us, we're right here in Benin and in Abuja at the same time. Join me as I welcome Mama Abonife. Thank you for joining us.
Hello, Ben. You're welcome.
Let me start by saying congratulations. I mean, you did something that is making all of us women real proud. For the first time, a woman is taking up the seat as the president of the PFN Edo State. How does that feel?
Well, we return all the glory to God. It's a great honor to Edo people and to the woman out there.
A lot of times we say that it's the man's world, and somehow men have ruled this world for a long time, and they are still ruling. Almost every aspect of leadership they seem to occupy, and they never want to let go. Somehow the little they give us, we do well. But then a lot of times there's always a tussle when a woman is on top. How do you intend to, manipulate, lead, guide without friction all the men under you as well as the women, but specifically the men?
It's a humbled achievement. Humbled because we wouldn't say we are in a woman's world, we are in a men's world in Africa. And so for a woman to be on top is a great challenge. Challenge in the sense that you have to manage the home, you have to manage the church, and then you're talking about the body of Christ. And so it's a double assignment. By the grace of God, wherever God leads, there is always grace available to sustain you. So right now, depending on the grace of God, As a mother, it wouldn't be difficult because if you are able to manage your home, you'll be able to manage the nation. Any woman that succeeds as a wife, you succeed as a mother, you succeed as a woman of the whole. Whatever position you occupy in the nation, you'll be able to succeed.
Now, for you, once your name is mentioned, the first thing that comes to mind is your love for women, the way you handle women, especially mothers. I don't know what spark of this.
It's because when woman speak to woman understand. More so, the woman makes up the nation. Without a woman, there's no nation. Without a woman, there's no family. Without a woman, there is no church. Whoever is able to train a woman, you train a nation. When you're able to build a woman, the life of a woman, you educate the life of a woman, you are building a healthy nation. So my focus most times, although I lead both men and women, but my focus most time is on mothers because they are the one that feel the heat. Everything moves a woman, but not everything that moves a man. Men are moved when it is for themselves. But for women, even when it is not theirs, they are, in fact, everything. So that is why the focus is on women. See how you can encourage them so that they will not give up. Because when a woman gives up, the home will scatter. I will say, go hear their prayers quickly, fastly, because of the emotional way they prayed. When you call men for prayers, they hardly shed tears. But when you call women for prayer, you see them praying with tears. And that tears touches the heart of God. So that is why focus most time is upon the women. I'm a family counselor. How many men come to see you for counseling? Out of 100, you can only find one man. Out of 100 people that will come for counseling. But you see the women, they are the ones that troop into the office. Most times, they are not even concerned about themselves. So it's about their husband, about their children, about their in-law. At times, I will tell them, don't you think this thing is too much for you? They just, in fact, they are just so concerned. When any man come to meet you for counseling, they can only talk about their wife. It's about their business. It's about their health. But for the women, they are concerned about the husband's health, their children, the daughters-in-law, the sons, just like that. So
It's a plus for the women. When you talked about tears, I quickly remember there's something I read not too long ago that when you need to cry, you should cry, because crying is not a sign of weakness. Actually, it's another form of prayer, and it's a prayer God answers real fast. And I'm good. You have reiterated that for us this morning. I don't know, maybe the women are able to do this because they go through the pain of labor, and it weakens them more and makes them more passionate about the family. But speaking of women, I know that you do not just counsel, you have a foundation for women. And I'm told it's completely free, where you come and learn free. That's the Eghosa Foundation for Learning Free, or free learning. Can you share with us what happens there? I actually want to come and learn something. And I know there are other people who.
What led me to Eghosa Foundation for Free Learning was the way the women keep coming, talking about, especially the widows. No husband, they couldn't train their children, and the way the society was going. And I would say it's still going, only God will help us. Most youth in the street, they will tell you nobody to help them. So there is a program once a while I bring up on TV. It's titled Drop the Gun. The Lord told me, when you ask somebody to drop what he's holding, what do you have to offer him? There must be something to replace what he has been holding. So since most of these youth are with gun, and you are telling them to drop their gun, there must be something to give to them to occupy them. So that was how the vision of Eghosa Foundation for Free Learning came about. When I'm on that program on Drop the Gun, I will now tell the youth, if you know you have nothing doing, I'll give them the church address, the All Mothers Prayer Ground. You come. All we need to know is just tell us what you can do. You want to learn fashion, look for the one closer to your house, we will pay. You want to learn anything at all, they will now let them know the importance of handwork. We are in a society where education alone can't solve your problem. Education is very, very good, very, very good, because without education, there's no life. But the government cannot provide job for all graduates. It's not possible. There's no way in the world where government can provide job for all. So you can also be an hour of labor. Now, those who successfully undergo that skill, what we do is this in Eghosa Foundation. If you are a sewing mistress, I will give you machine. We can pay for 1 year for you for store. Then from there, start your own. Then you begin to partner with Eghosa Foundation. We begin to give you people also to trade for us. So I believe it's just my little way of assisting the society in reducing crime rates. I believe that the church should partner with the government in helping to reduce crime rates. So Eghosa Foundation is part of the ministry, and that is our only way we are helping. And that is why they call me Iye Moya.
Okay, Iya Moya, mother of all. Thank you for that. Now, you're very passionate again about the youth. And I know at a point, 2017 or so, up until now, you are a sitting member for the eradication of prostitution and all of that within the state. I'd like to know, that's handling the youth. How far has that fared? Have we been able to curb it? Have we been able to record success? How much of the youth have we been able to turn around to do better things with their lives?
I want to thank God for our chairperson, Professor Yinka, who is leading the Edo State human trafficking. She has done well as a woman. She's our Attorney General here in Edo State. By the grace of God, before now, one would be ashamed to say you are from Edo State when you travel out of the country. I've traveled far and wide, and I know what I'm talking about. But since our amiable governor, Godwin Obaseki, came on board, he formed a body known as human trafficking. And our Attorney General, Professor Mrs. Oyinka, is the head of that department, and I happen to be a member. So far, I will say that many of our returnees, that is the girls and boys, they've been rehabilitated by the Edo State governor. And even our Oba Eware the Great II, as he also have a way of assisting the government to also assist these returnees. For those who have returned from Libya, Cameroon, and this African country, we've been able to put smile on their faces through the assistance of our First Lady, Mrs. Bessie Obaseki. She also have a shelter for these people. In fact, the First Lady of Edo State is so passionate about these young girls, about the young boys, except for those who are not sincere. Because for the Edo State government, I would say that before the coming up of God, Obaseki, the Edo State map in the whole world was so, I would say, number one in prostitution. But now, go and check. You will see that we have attained almost 70% success.
I'm happy to hear that, because there's nothing as good as having an honest living without actually soiling your body to earn that money. Now, you mentioned something about your talents and using it, and I didn't want to go there at the time, but I want to hit that now. I know you are a musician. I know you're a musician and you have albums. Tell me, how did you go into music?
I would say music, by God's grace, is talent from above. It's a gift from above. I discovered it at my tender age, and when I got married, there was a little challenges. I felt, well, let me turn to my talent, the aspect of singing. I established a music band known as Eghosa Music Band, and we started going out. People will call me for marriages, burial ceremony, and the rest of them. With my pregnancy, you see me jumping up and down. after during the songs, people will be spraying me. I collect my money, begin to release albums, sell it, get my money. So, and I gather some cash to begin to enter into property business, to add to the ministry work. So, because God gives you talent to put an end to an insult.
Yes.
If you use your talent very well, your talent will always put an end to embarrassment. Joseph used his talent in the prison that opened ways for him to the palace. So when we learn to use our talent, we can never be embarrassed by our environment.
Definitely. And you used yours very, very well. I also know that when you were growing up, you had the mind of becoming a journalist, a broadcaster. What happened to it?
Yeah, because of the way you dressed, because of the way journalists dressed. So in my secondary school days, when I watched the news caster on television, I say, oh, look at this lady, so beautiful. So I look at their dressing, their hair, the decency. So I wanted to go into that, but thank God, God gave me something better and greater.
But you still didn't go away. You still have a program on TV.
The gospel of Christ is good news.
Yes.
And I would say that dream was not cut up at all. But God gave me a better one.
That's lovely. Now, when we talk about gospel and all that, we talk about the season we are, almost into. That's the season of the birth of Christ. And a lot of people go extra miles to celebrate. Some families actually have issues, because of this festive season. I'd like you to lend a voice to, families, because you're a professional when it comes to family counseling. I'd like you to lend a voice to families, especially women. As we step into this festive period, there'll be weddings, there'll be a lot of things going on. What do we do to ensure that economically speaking, emotionally speaking, relationship, whatever it is, we don't drain ourselves for the period?
End of year is enjoyable, it's sweet when you know the master of the season. Christ is the master of the season. Christ is the reason for the season. And so, if there is anything to be celebrated, it should be the master, that is Christ. But when your focus is out of Christ and you now focus on the material things, the food, the clothes, then you begin to have trouble for yourself. What is Christmas? It talks about the worship, the praise you offer to God for giving us Christ. So Christmas is all about praise, it's all about worship. It's all about honor to the Lord. It's not all about the clothes. Like I do tell my old people, it is poverty that makes people to think of clothes, new shoe, new this poverty. Say, why should it be only Christmas to think of new clothes, new food, chicken? That is poverty. If you are not, if you are comfortable, you will know that at any given time, you can always have new clothes, you can always have new shoes, you can always have good food to eat. So our focus towards as the year draws end, one, we should be grateful to God, especially this 2020. Especially, it will be foolishness for anyone to talk about clothes, food, all those ones. In this year of coronavirus, if you survive this year of coronavirus, you and your household, in fact, what God demands, what the society demands, is to give praise to God, is to give him worship. Whatever the Lord has provided, we should be grateful to him for giving us sound health in the midst of coronavirus, because thousands and millions of people died this year. So if you are alive, you should be grateful to God, so that in 2021, Nigeria will experience abundance of great restoration.
Amen, definitely. Now, I before we leave, I know that you are a mother of several children and a grandmother too of several grandchildren, and I know that for me, a woman is not complete until her home is complete. I don't know, how do you juggle? You're a businesswoman, you're a preacher, you organize programs, you're a pastor, you're this, you're that. Is the home front in any way suffering? from your lack of time?
No, by the grace of God, to be in this position, it has to be grace, grace, grace. Thank God, my 5 children are all graduate now. 3 are happily married. Then my husband, I think, is the most happiest man on earth.
I love it.
Because he lacks nothing. I know my boundary. God gave me wisdom. Those who knows me very well will tell you she's a woman full of wisdom. So I know how to package my life so that I wouldn't lose my home because of ministry. My husband is not lacking sex. He gets it whenever he wants it. And after most of my program, I will take him out for holiday, just for 2 of us alone, in a very good hotel where we enjoy himself. And then we come back. She's like, that's the truth. Because a marriage without sex is not marriage. It is sex. Sex has a very important role to play in marriage. You want your man to be happy, always allow him to have your body.
Yes.
There are 2 things that men enjoy, sex and food. When these 2 things are valuable, they will allow you to fly and fly and fly and fly and fly and fly. So you must make your man to have your body. You must satisfy him. Or else, by the time the man begins to nag, you are in trouble in the society. Right. So my husband is happy.
Okay, thank you very much. Now, when you're not working or doing any, what makes you when you want to relax, like recreation, relaxation, what forms that for you?
So when I want to relax, I just switch off my phone, or I give it to my workers to hold. I just take it somewhere. Yes, it can be 30 minutes, it can be 1 hour. Although I work, people say I'm a workaholic, but then I know my boundary. Yes, I understand the signs of the body. Right. Because without sound heads, you can't have a sound ministry. Without sound heads, you can't have a sound home. For a woman to have a healthy home, you must physically be healthy. For you to have a sound church, you must physically be healthy. So the place of the heads cannot be overemphasized in having a healthy home and a healthy church. So I know when to go for my checkup once in a year, general checkup from head to toe. So I know just like that. So you just create it.
All right, Mama Imoha, maybe very short notes. Give your Iya Imoha, give your parting advice to all the women who are listening, just on a final note.
My advice to a woman out there, 1, be self-confident. Be self-confident. Let me just tell the women out there. When I got married to my husband, before I married him, I was already a pastor. I was ordained a pastor at the age of 20. But when we got married, he prevented me from being a pastor. He was a pastor, he was a creep. He said he doesn't believe in woman ministry. On the day of my wedding, that was what he told me. Instead of honeymoon, I began prayer mood. Yes. I didn't fight. I didn't report it to anybody. That thing that the Lord told me that I was doing before I married him, I held on to it. I obeyed him. So another advice for women out there, don't play with your man ego. If a woman is humble, she can always get what she wants. She can always achieve her goal. I said yes, sir. For 7 years I was silent. I stayed inside the congregation. I don't do the work of pastor. I started again as an usher. From there, I went to organize choir. The rest is a story. But after many years, this same man came on board, called me and said, my wife, I've seen the hand of God so much in you. I'm not the one that Lord has called to do this work. You are the one, and the Lord asked me to assist you. The table turn around. Right. Show humility. So every woman out there should learn to be humble. Don't argue with your husband. Whatever he says, say yes, sir. That is what they want to hear first.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. It's been quite insightful speaking with Iya Imoha. Thank you so much in the person of Pastor Mrs. Magret Eghosa Abonifo. Thank you. It's been quite enlightening. Whatever we do, we must ensure that we pick a bit of advice of what she has given us. Whatever its words, always be obedient and open up. Never give up. All of that, and most especially, don't spend this end of year season as though there is no tomorrow. Always know that the tomorrow will be there waiting for you. Until when we come your way again, the show is The Woman, and I am Elizabeth Abai. Ciao, ciao.